We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. It's a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Stay with me for today, where I talk about a fun way to tap into your God-given birthright, your creativity, and how you can easily access it through play. It's not just for kids.
The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Rat Race Reboot. I'm your host, Laura Noel. And as a certified coach and former 27-year military leader, each week I provide bite-sized mindset pivots that will help you reset your mind, reawaken your spirit, and regain your control.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Rat Race Reboot. So I was listening to the news the other day, and there was an 8-year-old boy from Idaho who wrote a book, and he placed it in a library, and then it just became like this hit overnight. And what's crazy is I was like, wait, he doesn't have a degree in literature. He doesn't have an editor. He doesn't have a big following and financial backing to get that following. And the cool thing about this book is there's a year-long waiting list for people to take it out of the library. His name is Dylan Helbig, and he left a copy of his book that he just wrote by hand called The Adventures of Dylan Helbig's Christmas. And it's crazy because there's a year-long wait list. I mean, who would have thought? A kid's book written by a kid. And so everybody wants a piece of it. So it's interesting also because when the reporter asked him, do you have any other books in the horizon? Are you writing another book? And he said, yes, I'm writing a book that's about the closet of disappearing coats. And it's something that he was inspired to write after a situation at school, I guess, with the coat closet. So playfulness enhances the capacity to innovate, adapt, and master changing circumstances. It is not just an escape. It can help us integrate and reconcile difficult or contradictory circumstances. And often it can show us the way out of our problems. And that was a quote by Stuart Brown for the National Institute for Play. So Dylan didn't worry about how or what would happen after he left his book. Would people like it? Would it fail? Would it succeed? You know, the how sometimes can be the killer of our dreams. He was just interested in getting his story out there, telling a story, and then getting as many people as he could to read his story. He didn't get bogged down with the how or, worries, fears, and doubts. So if we could just lighten up a little bit, wouldn't that help us tap into our creativity a little bit more? He was just playing. That's all he was doing. This was child's play. He was enjoying himself, writing a book, and then just following his intuition. We should do more of that. Last week, I talked about leverage points. And one of our leverage points that can move us farther, faster towards our dreams and goals was in the way that we think. We can shift a paradigm. A paradigm is a leverage point. But if you think about it, and you think about play, what do most people think about play? It's frivolous, unimportant, lacks purpose. We are embedded sometimes in a work culture that values hard work. Now, I'm not saying that you don't put the time toward your goals and your vision and dreams, but it doesn't have to feel laborious. It doesn't have to feel like hard work. We can be playful, and when we are, we're enabling our creativity to float to the surface, and we can tap into those God-given talents much easier. So what if you could adopt a new paradigm, a paradigm where play is essential to growth? How would your life change? How would your corporate culture change? How would the outcomes in your life change, in your relationships, in your goals? If you just lightened up a little bit. In the field of neuroscience, play is seen as equally as important as sleep, rest, and food. It's essential to creativity and learning. And I just Googled a few companies that incorporate play into their corporate culture. And there's more out there than this, but Patagonia, they encourage people to use their gear to hit the beach, to surf, to go play volleyball, then come back to work. Brooks Sports, they have Activity Friday and group runs, and then they have a theme-based party after they get back. Hootsuite, they encourage walking, playing tennis, getting outside, having meetings outside. There's a whole bunch of other companies out there, if you look them up, who embrace play. And there's a lot of reasons why, not just in the neuroscience, but in the way that we interact with one another. That builds trust. It helps us build connection. And I know I experienced that in my own work center. We would do things like a ropes course or something of that nature, where we would get outside and connect together and do some kind of activity or go on a hike together and then have a deep conversation about something about our personal lives that would bring us closer together. It just builds trust. Play at work has been positively linked with job satisfaction, with creativity, with reduction of stress, and helping people avoid burnout. Why not give it a try? So try infusing a little bit of fun and play in your day, and there's so many ways that you can do it. I know that a lot of us are working remotely, and I've been a part of Zoom meetings where we've just had a few minutes just to be silly, and we'd put on like different hats and different filters in our Zoom webinars, or different backgrounds, and we just comment about it. Or we would just share a win that happened for the week. What awesome thing happened? It could be, having a great cup of coffee, to something even more profound that happened to us throughout the week. And we're sharing and getting to know each other and having fun. Laughter is another way. Just finding something that we can all laugh about, getting out and playing a sports game together, playing a board game together, just taking a few minutes just to connect and lighten the load. I work at home, so if I'm not on a webinar or connecting with clients in that way, I'm talking to my dogs, and it just lightens the mood. I sing to my dogs. I'm like, you are a puppy a little puppy dog. You are a fuzzy puppy. It's stupid, I know, but it makes me laugh, and it makes my dog kind of look at me and tilt its head, and I think that's so adorable, and it lightens my mood, and then I can focus back on work. So how can you infuse fun and play in your day, whether you work at home and you're a solopreneur, or with your team, whether you work together in an office or whether you're working on Zoom and you're coming in remotely? You can infuse fun as a part of your day, and it's going to help you in so many ways. And I'm curious. I want to hear how you infuse fun as a part of your day and play. So I challenge you this week to pick something, just one thing, and try it out. Do something that's fun and playful. Add it to your day, add it to your team, and then join us on ratracereboot.com. Comment on this podcast. Let me know what you did, and then we can get other ideas from each other. Do it. You will be so glad that you did. All right, so play. There's more to it than meets the eye, and it's not just for kids. And honestly, I love that quote at the beginning. It's not, don't stop playing. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Lighten up, the creativity will come, and you'll be so glad that you did. So if you got some value out of today's episode, I want you to go to ratracereboot.com, subscribe or follow us on whatever channel that you listen to your podcasts on. Download the freebies that I have up there on ratracereboot.com. They change all the time. And connect with me on LinkedIn. Just follow me, Laura Noel, on LinkedIn. Or when you subscribe, you'll start getting notifications and emails once a week when I have a new podcast coming out, and you can always reply to one of those emails. But just like I like to close out every episode of Rat Race Reboot, I want to get you connected with that playful spirit in you and your vision of your ideal future in your personal life, in your workspace, whatever that is for you. So wherever you are, just take a pause and just breathe. Listen to your breath. Notice it. You take a deep inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale. And And lastly, take one more inhale. And exhale, releasing any signs of tension or stress from the day. I want you to think back to when you were a child and when you were the most joyful. What were you doing? What did you enjoy doing? Was it making mud pies, splashing puddles, playing with the family dog or cat, maybe walking in nature? Maybe you played an instrument back then. And I don't know, life just happened. You got so busy that it feels like a part of you is even missing. But I'm telling you, that part of you is still there. Think back to the things and the times where you were the most joyful, when you were playful and lighthearted. How can you incorporate some of those things into your life right now? Maybe you liked music and dancing. Maybe you can have a dance party at your desk, a little 1-minute dance break. When's the last time you laughed? You laughed so hard, uncontrollably. How can you bring laughter back into your life? And maybe for you, fun was just being in nature. That part of you is still there. So I want you to bring to mind one thing that you could do today that would infuse a little bit more play and fun into your life. And when you do that, I want you to notice the ripple effect it has with the people around you. It's contagious. Welcome back, everybody. So that was the end of our Rat Race Reboot segment today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got value from it. And I hope you take it to heart. There's so much science behind the idea of play. Incorporate it into your life, and you'll be able to tap into parts of yourself you didn't even know were there. I look forward to seeing you next week. Remember, everything is created twice. First in your mind, and then in physical form. See you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.